How do you turn something into an integral part of you? Hello and welcome. And today's insight is going to be about turning something into a habit, right? Because that's what making something into an integral part of you really is. And you can apply this to anything, okay? It is the 4 steps of learning, right? So there's knowing that you do not know. Then there's knowing that you don't know. Or should I say not? Okay. First is not knowing that you don't know. The second is that you know that you don't know. And the third is knowing that you know. And the fourth is unconsciously knowing that you know. So let's take this in the aspect of, I know for most of you, it's driving or like cooking, riding a bicycle, because I don't drive, so it's not going to be something that I integrally, like, first and foremost think of. But what happened when you first drove, right? You figured out that you're like, oh my god, I don't know how to drive. My parents have been driving me around all this time, but I don't know how to drive. So that's knowing that you don't know. You don't know how to drive. You don't know how to operate a car. Then there's knowing. So the first is not knowing that you don't know. So you're just like, there's no problem. I'll generally have someone drive me around and I don't need to know, right? I don't need to know how to drive because I'm not old enough yet. So there's no need for it. So that's number one, like not knowing that you don't know because you don't feel the need to learn. Then there's knowing that you don't know. Then there's this want that awakens within you that you want to learn how to actually operate a vehicle, right? And that's knowing that you don't know. That's the second stage. Then there's the third stage, which is knowing that you know. But in that stage, there's a lot of slowly but surely getting used to it. So it's consciously knowing. So there's a lot of, okay, wait, if I do this, I need to do that, and then if I want to brake, I need to press this, and you kind of go through the steps like a checklist, right? And then there's the fourth step, which is not knowing that you know. That is when it has been internalized within you, okay? So it's like running. When someone says run, you just start running. You don't necessarily think, okay, I need to get into the stance, I need to propel myself forward, I need to move my arms and stuff. You just do it because you've done it so often. It gets done naturally. That's knowing that you not knowing how to do it, but you know how to do it. It's ingrained within you. You don't necessarily think about it, right? And so how is this related to your intuition? Okay, so the same thing happens with your intuition. There's going to be a little bit of a learning curve, especially in the beginning when you're like, okay, so for me to do this, I need to do this step, that step, and that step, right? Okay, so 1, 2, 3. I need to follow these steps. When I follow them, then it allows me to tap into my intuition more clearly, get more answers directly from source, and yada yada yada, right? That's basically the same thing. And it would be the same thing in regards to getting over an accident or getting over an injury or a surgery or whatever, any big trauma. Okay, I talk about intuition because that's what I mainly concentrated on for the past couple of years, so it's kind of ingrained within me. But the same process applies to pretty much anything you want to learn about. So all in all, what I'm talking about is mainly the fact that you are figuring out that you don't know something, but turning into not knowing into you knowing it so well that it becomes like second nature to you. It becomes a part of you. It becomes a automatic response to anything that occurs. Okay? That is what you want to reach at any level, at any ability, right? So And in regards to a trauma or a healing or an injury or anything of that nature that requires some time for you to recover, usually when you get out of that recovery stage, you are left with some injuries, or you're left with some something that's not quite exactly well, right? Let's say you broke a bone. You're gonna have to rehabilitate it into doing what it used to do, but it's kind of difficult because at the start you're gonna have to get used to your new body, like your body after the accident or after the injury, which would indicate that, I don't know, you might have broken bones, like broken shards of a bone. For example, okay, last year I fell while I was skating and I broke my arm. Now, what did that do? That hurt. Every time I moved my arm, it hurt. So what happened? Does it hurt that much as it did back then? No, it does not. Why? Because my body got used to it, and my body grew around it, and my body recovered from it, and it fixed itself. It became more comfortable living with that bone shard, like swimming around my arm. That's the way I see it. Anyway, I have like a free bit of bone in my arm that got dislodged from the rest of my forearm. In either case, what I meant to say is your body adapts. Your body gets accustomed to the new reality that it is living with, and it deals with it quite well, right? And the body usually has ways to either break down the little shard or to readapt itself around the shard to be able to operate to full capacity. So ultimately what you actually want is to be able to adapt, like the body, adapt around what that injury was, to live with it, but to live the best life you can with it within you, to accept yourself as you are currently, because you're no longer the past person, because you've learned new things, you've gained new abilities, and you have changed because of that accident. And one of the best things to do is to readapt and to reassess and readapt, and to become a better version of you, like as quickly as you can. Because the more you sit and wallow in pain of what happened, the more you're going to wallow in pain of what might come, right? Or the more you're going to wallow in pain and you're going to push what's coming away. If that makes any sense at all. I hope that does. If not, ask questions and it'll be my pleasure to answer, alright? So, is there something that you need to overcome? Something that happened to you, your body, or your psyche that you need to overcome so that you can continue to enjoy all that life can offer? Ponder that.